So welcome once more. Before us is a random data that you are going to use. You can see with this data there is the student identification from number 1 to number 10, and then there is the name, and then here are the subjects and the marks as well. And if you notice, this data somehow it is not organized when it comes to alignment and all that. So what we can do is we can first opt to select all by pressing Ctrl A. Then after that we can put we can choose the left alignment, okay. Now at least the data has started to be organized, and then after that we want to see the data, for example the names. So we can manually move like that, or we can use that method that I showed you before by selecting that specific column. While left pressing, you'll just drag along your cursor to the end of the column. Then you come in between two of the columns until it brings in the plus sign, then you double click and then voila. At least the data started to make sense. And and suppose the data is a lot such that you cannot drag all the way to the end, you'll just select like that, then you'll press Ctrl plus Shift plus the left arrow. Let me just write here. We'll press Ctrl plus Shift plus the left arrow. Basically, you'll press this combination of Ctrl plus Shift plus the left arrow. Basically, it will select all the columns. Like once you highlight one column, you just press Select Shift left arrow. It will select all the columns until the end. Suppose the data that you're working with, like for example, suppose the columns are very many. Anyway, let us go back. Now let's continue working with this data. This data has a title like the student's ID, name, and then the subjects. But right now we can't be able to find like a distinction between the title and the data itself. Now when it comes to analysis, I will show you how you can create a table out of an already cleaned data. But let us just deal with this data simply. So basically you can opt to select the first row and then you make it bold, for example. At least there is a distinction. Or you can opt to select the first row and choose a different color just to bring like a specific distinction. For example, I can opt to use this color, but in the meantime let's just maintain this. Now the basic operations that we are going to learn today is the sum, so basically the first one will be, we're going to find like the total marks. Then after that you're going to find the average of the students. Now let's repeat that process that I taught you, just like that. So for the total marks, basically it will be a summation of all these marks. So we will use the sum function. For the average, we will use the average function. These are just like but simple operations, and just like that. Now for every operation, it should start, and please take a key note of this. It's a must to start with an equal sign. Now before you even put that function to be specific, just a moment. I was just opening my on-screen keyboard because there's some of my keys that are not working, but I'll check on that later. Okay, before you put any function, it should have an equal sign. So for example, before sum, it should have an equal sign. Just a moment. Yeah, the on-screen keyboard is working. I don't know if I should drag it here. Yeah, let me just drag it here. Is equals to sum. Then after that, all of it should be like in some sort of a, is it parentheses or basically this mark. Now the function should be, just a moment. So basically this is the format of the function, and in these parentheses is where the range is being put, you know. Now we are going to find the total marks of, for example, student 1. That means that the marks, you see math up to art, you will just left click on the first, and don't, like, while left clicking, drag it up to the last subject that we are going to choose. Then you just press enter, and there it is. Voila. The first student has scored 433 marks. And for you to replicate this function, you see down here, let me just expand it more. There is this plus sign, and let me also reduce my video. There is this plus sign. If you double click on it, basically it just replicates that function going down. Yeah. Now let's go to average function. Of course, you now know how to go about it. First there is the equal sign, and then we can as well edit it here or up here, and then it should have these parentheses. Then in here is where we choose the range of the cells. Yeah, just like that, and then double click, and here you have it. Now we have our total marks and our average, you know. Yeah, so these are just one of the functions that we can use, you know, to compute this data. Yeah, so that's it for now.